I get the privilege of introducing our new Vice President of Student Affairs, Dr. LeRodrick Terry.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right, I know it's after lunch and it's a countdown to, the end of the day. First thing I want to say is, I've been here now, I think exactly a month, and I've had an opportunity to really take in a lot of information, to work very closely with our deans and our student affairs leadership to get information. Obviously, it's an ongoing assessment of what you all do, where we're at as a division, where our challenges in our various areas of departments. But I do want to say this at the very top of my time here today, that I am so impressed with Rio Salado and the Student Affairs Division here. The level of technical skill and the knowledge base is phenomenal. Give yourselves a hand. You all know what you're doing. As I was telling somebody the other day, this is not a renovation project. This is not a rebuilding project. You already have been doing wonderful things for the last several years, and I think it's my charge to help lead, guide, and direct you all towards not just turning the corner, but taking it to the next level. I felt that it was very important, or Fee felt it was very important, and Lambert, more Fee, where's she at? I can talk about it. She ain't in the room, right? Be one of those people. Like it's certain people I've just been warned about, and I'm scared of already. Ruby, Fee, certain people. Don't pick a fight with them, right? So, I just want to tell a little bit about myself so you know who I am. I do not believe in the leader who sits in the ivory tower and just kind of looks out over the landscape type of way. I don't know if y'all figured that out yet. Some of you who have seen me walking in and out of your department, it's not because I'm a micromanager. It's not because I'm trying to undermine the authority of your current directors or supervisors. It's because I believe in people. And to tell you more about where my beliefs come from is to talk about where I grew up. I come from a little small town. I'm a small town kid. I grew up in Vero Beach, Florida. Vero Beach is about an hour and a half south of Orlando and Daytona Beach. It is about 45 minutes north of Palm Beach, 30 to 45 minutes, depending on what part of Vero Beach you're leaving from. We're located on the Atlantic coast. We're just a little tiny dot on the map. And being a small town kid, obviously I have small town beliefs, morals, values, things I believe in. And certain things that were imparted on me when I was a kid that I still think are important to this day. They form who I am, and I believe they're applicable to what we do. Things like treat people as you would like to be treated. Service before self. Respect, integrity, teamwork, fairness. The ancient African proverb says, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to raise a child. Matter of fact, last weekend, I was at the Sequin conference in Dallas, Texas. And I was on an elevator going down to the main reception area, whatever the case may be. And this lady, she ended up being one of the big vendors there. And she just walked up to me. I'm not trying to brag. It was very flattering. She walks up to me. She says, "Who are you? You look very important." Me? Important? So I told her who I was in my role here at Rio. And she's like, "Oh, you're responsible. You and your people are responsible for student success." And I respectfully differ. Everyone at this college is responsible for student success. Every person who works at an institute of higher education has a part in the edification and success of the students. Everybody got a role to play. Everybody got a dog in that fight. In every interaction, in every role, in everything we're doing, we're supporting student success. It takes a village to raise a child. Those are some of the things that were imparted on me and still absolute values to this very day. So I grew up in my little small town, and I come from a very close-knit family. My grandmother had 11 kids. Old school, right? 11 kids, right? I got 1 million cousins. All right? So we gather and we get together and we fellowship for no reason at all. It don't have to just be the holidays. If the Dallas Cowboys are playing or some other, Ruby, I'm not starting no jump. Ruby, I'm just telling who my family cheer for. You know, we're very close, and I come from a community, a village of people who were very close. I grew up in the old school dynamic where people actually knew each other, knew their neighbors. They watched their houses if they went out of town. They watched their kids when their kids were playing in the street. If you were short with some ingredients to fix a meal, you could go to the lady next door and she would give you some flour, some sugar, some eggs, some things of that nature. That collaboration, that teamwork, that altruistic belief that we all serve the greater good. Those things are still apparent. Those things are still relevant and applicable to what we do here. So eventually I grew up, I graduated from high school. I was a pretty good high school student. Couldn't afford to go to college though. I'll tell you that right now. I was the first generation, lower socioeconomic. I came from the other side of the tracks, okay? But I was very blessed and fortunate to get a football scholarship. So I went to school on a football scholarship. Access, right? I got there, was a standout, all conference, yada, 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 all American, nominated for the Butkus Award, given to the top linebacker in the country. I played linebacker, by the way. Finished up my college career, thought I was headed to the NFL. They projected me to be a draft pick, all this other good stuff. You know, forget Mel Kiper. He don't know what he's talking about. I didn't get drafted. But I got my college degree. If I didn't get that college degree, I wouldn't be standing here today. But I was fortunate that there were still teams out there that still wanted me. So I went and I played football in Canada and eventually signed with the Arena Football League. I ended up being a pro athlete for 7 years. I thank goodness for every day that I got paid to play a game. But when it was over, it was over. I was able to walk away and not limp away, and I'm thankful for that as well. You got to know when. My first job in higher education was at Auburn University, a little small school in Georgia. Some of you may have heard of it, War Eagle. And my first introduction to higher education, I worked with at-risk students, student success, special populations. I worked with the students who could barely read and write, y'all. One of the top 20 schools in the country, they had kids who could barely read and write. True story. And in that role, working with those students, I really discovered who I was as a person and as a professional. I learned how much it meant to me and how rewarding it was to see students learn, to see students walk across that stage overcoming unbelievable odds. I learned about self-efficacy and how if you work and you empower people, not enable, it's a difference. It's a fine line, but it's a difference. If you empower people, how successful they can be. I still believe in those things to this day. So while I'm at Auburn University, I had a variety of roles. I became a supervisor of study table programs, academic support. I became a program coordinator. I became a national representative for the Auburn Alumni Association, one of the largest in the country. Over 250,000 living alumni nationwide. 48 alumni clubs, so I did a lot. I made money and made friends for the university, in addition to supporting students and advancing goals that drive student affairs at a major institution. While there, educationally, I picked up a master's degree and a PhD in higher ed administration. Picking up those credentials obviously created a platform for me to move on to bigger and better things. I accepted a job as a director at Shorter University, where I picked up another master's degree in leadership. While at Shorter, I drove enrollment rates for satellite campuses. Now, I wasn't at the main campus when I was at Shorter. People didn't realize that when I came for my interview, but I was. We had 4 satellite campuses in metro Atlanta, which is super, super competitive. However, it was the height of the recession, 08, 09. At one point in 09, for a 6-month period, the United States was losing 750 jobs a month. So what do people do when there's that type of recession going on? They go back to school. For you all who are here at Rio, you know what I'm talking about. Like Rio, Shorter, and other institutions, they were living high on the hog, weren't they? You didn't have to do much, and enrollment numbers were booming because people were lost. They were displaced. They were looking for hope. They needed to go back and find what I call the skills to pay the bills. They needed degree programs. They needed certifications. They needed training to find jobs that were high demand and high paying. And that's what we did. And that's still applicable to this day. You see, you'll hear things and read things about the economy recovering and our economic growth rate and the monthly amount of jobs that are created every month. And those are positive signs for the economy. However, the economy hasn't recovered. The economy is recovering and trying to turn the corner, and that process is slow. So guess what? There's still people out there that are lost, displaced, looking for hope, coming to you, and you, looking for something, trying to find some answers, skills to pay the bills. Y'all remember the show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Right. Y'all remember the Lifeline? In your every interaction with those students, you're that last lifeline. I got to ask y'all a question. Who are we here for? Hold on, I'm going to put you on the spot. Who are we here for?
The students.
Say it louder, they can't hear you.
The students.
The students. You see, you got to understand, 2 things going to happen when they call. I've lost my home. I'm running out of unemployment. I can't find a job. Who they coming to? 2 things going to happen when you pick up that phone with that student. A, best case scenario, you're going to give them hope. You're going to put wind in their sails. You're going to say something to somebody that's going to reinforce the belief that they have that they can do this. That we have something to offer. We have a pathway available to them that will provide them with a better life for them and their family. You can change lives every time you pick up that phone. See, customer service is not a soapbox speech. Student success is not a soapbox speech for me. I really believe this in my heart, that every single day in every interaction we have with students, we can change lives. It's not just about our priorities, our strategic goals, our mission, or our vision. I believe this, and I need you to believe it too. Because let me tell you what else can happen. The flip side. Oh yeah, it's the flip side. It's some people in this division, in this room right now, who are on cruise control. Oh, you know who you are. You going through the motions. Leadership has heard me say it. You on cruise control. You doing just enough to keep your job and maintain the status quo. As long as that direct deposit is going in every 2 weeks, you're perfectly fine. Well, consider this your notice. Because see, that status quo person, that person that's on cruise control, they're going to pick up the phone for that same person looking for a lifeline. And this is what's going to happen. All the negative connotations associated with pursuing higher education are going to be affirmed. All the doubt that that person has, all the fears that that person has, all the anxiety that that person has about going through this process, about taking this huge life-changing step, okay, will be confirmed. I can't do this. They're going to leave. They're going to hang up that phone and they're never going to come back. They're never going to try. We change lives. We have an opportunity with every interaction to go above and beyond, to edify, to serve, and support the students we work for. I'm going to ask you one more time. Why are we here?
The students.
I need y'all to say it. Why are we here? The students. Very good. Now, my hobbies. I don't have any real hobbies other than spending time with my family. I told somebody before when they were interrogating me. I'm sorry, is Fee back here? Well, I'm a boring guy. I'm probably a cliche. I just love sports in my family. I do love to cook. I think that's interesting. I didn't get this big by accident. So, any area department that does potlucks or any type of monthly meeting that's associated with food, you want to get a special guest appearance from yours truly, say something about some food, I'll be there. And I will bring a plate now. I can throw down. I'm from the South. I can cook. I promise. So those are my hobbies. I always tell people I like to hit this little white ball or swing at it. I don't know how well I hit it. It's called golf. I don't call myself a golfer, but I do enjoy playing. So those are pretty much what I do with my free time. I plan to get very vested in the community and volunteer. That's something, again, I grew up, small town, to whom much is given, much is required. So I would definitely try to get involved with some civic organizations and some charities and do a little community service. I feel like you not only represent who you are, the people who raised you, but I do want to be a positive face for this college and for this division here at Rio Salado College. So, I get here July 1st, right? I think either on July 1st or a day or two afterwards, I had this one person, what's your vision? What's your vision? What's your vision? What do you want to accomplish? What are you going to do? I'm like, dude, can I at least unpack a bag first? Can I learn a couple names before I come in here imparting my vision and throwing down and handing out mandates? But this particular person, she was just like, strategically, I'm just like, listen, let me take it all in. Let me take some more in. Let me do my own little assessment evaluation before we start talking about it. But I will say this about me and about what we're going to do as a division. We will be student first. Actually, one more time. Why are we here?
Students.
Very good. So we will have a student-centered approach to customer service. We're going to narrow our focus and get back to working towards enhancing the experiences of students at this college so that we strategically support the priorities of the division and the strategic goals of the college. Those are my priorities. I believe in 3 pillars. I'm going to break them down for you, and y'all going to repeat them after me. 3 things I believe in. If you do these 3 things well as a division in student affairs, you will transform this college. And I say you, because it's going to take everybody in this room at every level in every role. 3 things. Access, persistence, and completion. Access, persistence, and completion. If you do those 3 things well in student affairs, you winning. Do you want to win? I'm sorry, do you want to win? Yes. Repeat after me. Access. Persistence. Retention. I'm sorry. Access. Access. Persistence. Completion. That's it. That's it. Everything we do on a strategic level, on a department level, priority and initiative-wise, will be focused on those 3 pillars. I guarantee you can ask me any question anytime about what we're doing, and I'm going to relate it back to this conversation. And it will align with this vision, striving to create a culture of student-focused customer service across the division in order to enhance student experiences and support the strategic goals of the college. Finito. That's what we're going to stand for. Our priorities, culture. Let's talk about culture and morale for a second. You ain't got to raise your hand because I know your boss might be in the room. I'm serious. You've been in that parking lot before and you said a little prayer before you walked in the building. Okay? I'm talking to somebody right now. You went home and either on the way home in traffic or when you got home and got with your spouse or whomever, you've had to vent about your day at Real Salado College. I know I'm seeing the looks on some of y'all faces. I know who I'm talking to. I'm going to go further. Don't say nothing. Your boss might be in the room. You've told somebody your boss is an idiot. Or the leadership at Rio or the leadership in student affairs doesn't know what they're doing. See, we got to change that. See, we need to create a cultural shift. Again, I'm not the dude that's going to sit over there in the ivory tower and watch what's going down from afar. You see, from 30,000 feet, when you're on a plane, everything looks perfect. The landscape is symmetrical. Everything is aligned, it's perfect, it's smooth. So you got to get down a little close to the ground. Because as you get close to the ground, you start to see those hills, those bumps, those potholes, those obstacles and hurdles, which have an adverse effect on the big plan. You got to have a cultural shift. Morale. I can guarantee 110% of the time, if you enjoy where you work, if you have a positive work environment, you're going to be a more highly productive and effective in whatever role you have. Guaranteed. All right, I'm an athlete, so I got to do some locker room talk. I'm sorry. I know I'm a cliche. I warned you. Have you ever heard the term bad chemistry in the locker room? You ain't even got to follow sport. You've heard bad chemistry, right? That's what poor morale does. It impedes people from performing at a peak level. It impedes people from realizing their potential in whatever role they may be. If this is my role, if this is my lane, if this is how I serve and contribute to the greater good, but I'm being impeded by a toxic culture, I will never fulfill my potential. And who does that hurt? Hurts everybody. I don't want you walking around with attitude around me. I'm happy to come to work every day. After I leave the gym, put on my suit, I'm happy to be here. People ask me, what it's been like since you've been in Real Salado? Better than I imagined. What are the people like over there? They're phenomenal. How do you feel about this person? She's great. I will never perpetuate a toxic environment, nor will I tolerate it. Team service before self. I think there's a corner up there. What the corner is? Broadway and 82nd or 14th and what is it? 14th. Y'all know, what is it? 52nd. Leave your problems there. Leave them there. That girl who got an attitude, leave her there. That dude who's depressing down the dumps, leave him there. I'm not saying be generic. I'm not saying being cheesy. but be a force of change for the good. Affect this culture in a positive way, because guess what? It comes through when you pick up that phone. Students pick up on it, and they don't deserve that. You're their lifeline. They're coming to you, looking to you for something. Be somebody who reaffirms the positive in their life, the hope in their life. Now, my next thing is assessment and evaluation. Everybody at every level of this division will be assessed and evaluated. Every area, every department in this division will be evaluated. We will not promote the status quo. Again, locker room talk. Hey, you go, former jock. I know. If you are comfortable with the status quo, if you are sitting on your hands saying, look at us, look at all we've done, look at who we are, pop your collar. Your competition working. Guess what? You're going to meet up one day. While you sitting on your hands, bragging on the status quo, your competition's working. You'll meet up one day. What are you talking about, Dr. Terry? I don't play linebacker. I don't play quarterback for the real Salado Waves. What you mean my competition's working? This is a side effect of a recovering economy. Consumers become smarter. Consumers become smarter in a recovering economy. Whether it's a person who's been displaced, whether it's a person who's seeking to advance, whether it's a parent or student sitting at that kitchen table devising a plan for post-secondary education, we in competition. When they type in those names and those searches on Google, Bing, and what have you, we're in competition. Raise your hand if you're aware of our Yelp ratings and feedback. Not pretty. We're in competition. We will never accept the status quo. This is the college who professes to have values that state relentless improvement. Relentless improvement. So the assessment and evaluation is not meant to scrutinize, demean, or take away from what you've accomplished. It's meant to create building blocks for us to take it to the next level. Every person in every position throughout this division will be evaluated and assessed. Every area, every service, every department in this division will be assessed and evaluated. We will create a baseline, and based on that baseline, we will start taking steps to get better today. That brings me to my next point, accountability. Now, you know, everybody want to be on the winning team. Everybody want to play for the Yankees. Everybody want to play for the Cowboys. Everybody want to play for the championship. They want to play for the Lakers. You know, they want to be on the teams that, I'm sorry, everybody want to play for the Golden State Warriors. My bad. I apologize. And the Giants. I know, Ruby, don't beat me up. I'm just playing the race right now, okay? So everybody wants to be on the winning team, right? Everybody wants to be out front and leading the way. Well, guess what? Everybody has to be held accountable too. Every single person at every level of this organization, from the stat, from the PSA, I don't even know what all that stuff mean. Don't care. Don't care. You will be held accountable. It will be in the form of evaluations, professional development, training, and follow-up, and repeat as necessary. You will be challenged to do more and be better. Let me repeat. Do more and be better. So person on cruise control, person who's doing the bare minimum just to keep their job, you're on notice. Our approach, it goes without saying that it's going to create, we're going to have to create a dynamic where teamwork and collaboration is across the board. We got to get rid of the silos. Yes, we have silos. Unfortunately, we do. I love our technical knowledge, but technical knowledge does not equal proficiency. It doesn't equal leadership. It doesn't equal productivity. It does no good for you to be technically savvy in this area and you don't have a doggone clue how it affects another area. So that brings me to the point of facilitating cross-departmental collaboration. We already have something going with the buddy system. I like it. It will be bigger, broader, and more impactful. Stay tuned. Positive reinforcement. Do you like to be acknowledged? Do you want to get called into the dean's office or the VP's office when something is wrong? Or would you like to be acknowledged when you're actually doing your job? You see, for every person who's on cruise control, I guarantee there's 4 or 5 who's going above and beyond. Those people have to be acknowledged. Because if you treat all of those people the same, guess what those people who are going above and beyond will start to do eventually? Their faith erodes. Their enthusiasm fades. And it has a tangible effect on the culture and the workspace. And I don't just mean for the stars like Courtney or Nancy or Heather. New employees. Starting next month, every time we hire a full-time employee, I'm going to sit down and have lunch with them. Why are you doing that, Dr. Terry? I know you're very busy. Because they need to be recognized and acknowledged. I had a conversation with Courtney before, and she was like, Dr. Terry, how in the world do you find time to... I said, because I believe in investing in my people. It's an investment in our culture. It's important for you to be recognized and your contributions valued from the very top. So starting next month, if y'all hire somebody new, they need to meet me. Do a lot worse than buying somebody lunch and having a conversation with them. Inclusiveness. I am not the leader who's going to pick out 2 or 3 people and we're going to devise the plan for the whole division. No. I'm starting something they called it, I didn't name it, they called it the VP Council. That's why I got the deans and directors at a table. Additionally, as y'all have seen already, I'm going to walk around and I'm asking Courtney, what's going on? How you doing? What do you think? Because I need to know. Again, you can't figure nothing out from 30,000 feet. I believe that diverse point of views, diverse perspectives, people who have an intimate knowledge of the day-to-day challenges in this division should have a say-so in the strategic goals and initiatives of this division. Are you stakeholders? Are you a stakeholder? Do you have a dog in this fight? Then you should have a say-so in where we're going and how we're going to get there. And every person, your opinion will be valued just as your contributions will. Now, I talked about the person who goes home saying their boss is an idiot, right? Usually that's because there's a lack of awareness. The leadership will meet for months at a time. Plan. And then they'll roll it out on Monday after they feel like it's ready to go. Have you ever felt blindsided in your role? No, really, be honest. I know your boss in the room. Have you ever felt blindsided in your role? Like, what is this? What is this new initiative? Why are we doing this? Transparency. People need to know what's going on. If we're having a conversation and changes in the pipe, you need to know the all-important question. Why? Why are we doing this? See, y'all need to know about them outbound calls and different things that are being dropped. Y'all need to know where we have gaps in our services that's affecting our enrollment trends. Y'all need to know where we're falling short, that our Yelp ratings suck. Transparency. This is something that I believe in very strongly. Y'all hear me say this a lot. We're going to narrow our focus. We're going to have clear, concise goals and expectations. I'm working with HR right now to define every role in this division. I want to know your core competencies and things that you should be doing in your role. Why? Because I'm going to take that and I'm going to measure it against how does it support the strategic goals of the college. Can't nobody tell me that right now. We need to know. Everybody in here got a dog in this fight. Everybody in here is contributing to us taking this thing to the next level. I want to be able to tell you what you do and how you are serving to support a bigger mission. Don't that make you feel good? When you appreciate it, when you acknowledge, when you include it in the conversation, I would think so. That's just human nature. Those are some of the things we're going to do. Now, this is what I believe with all my heart. You can't give people expectations and not support them. That's abuse. The flip side is you can't support people and not give them expectations. That's enabling. Remember, empowering versus enabling? Empowering versus enabling. I'm going to empower you. As we hand down our expectations in every area, every department, division-wide, we're also going to support you with training. Not just an in-service in the spring and the fall, but an ongoing dynamic. Not just the buddy system, which will be bigger, broader, and more impactful, I promise you. Stay tuned. Not just your $3,500 to go to some conference, but a methodical, deliberate approach to imparting the importance of customer service and teamwork to support access, persistence, and completion. Remember the vision? A student-focused approach to customer service to enhance student experiences. That's what your training theme will be from now until I determine otherwise. Because that's our priority. The students, right? Who we here for?
The students.
Thank you, ma'am. So I'm not going to tell you that you're going to be accountable in the form of professional evaluations and development plans and accountability, and I'm not actually going to train and support you to meet those levels. If you're good at what you do, great, get better. If you're doing a lot already, good, do more. Do more doesn't mean take on more tasks, because I know we're initiative out, we're meeting out, we're project out. I got a leadership that's crying that they're stretched way too thin. No, doing more means being more productive. So you got to have a constructive approach. We're going to prioritize, get some things done, and move some other things up to the top of the totem pole. That's a shift in culture. It'll happen at every level of this organization. But please understand this. You will be supported by me. I will not seek to undermine the authority of the people you report directly to. But you must know this, and I mean this. My door is always open. Now, is it open to drama? No. Right now, I don't do drama. I don't do complaints. That's Ruby. But if you got some ideas, if you got some suggestions, if you got some concerns about things that are going on in your area that relate to the greater good and not just, well, I think I need a bigger office. No, see, that's not me. But ideas, constructive conversations about this division, about empowering and edifying what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish. I want to know it. And I'm going to tell my deans and directors in our meeting, I suggest you get over it if you have a problem with that. Because if you ain't figured it out, I'm a man of the people. And I need you all to understand that I want to interact with you. I want to know who you are. I want to be able to walk in the room and call people by their first name. And I believe in investing in my people, so I will make time to have conversations with you. Some of you know this already. But with all of that, I thank you for your time. I know I went way over time, Lambert. And I want to close by saying I'm so excited to be a part of this team. I'm so excited about the possibilities for this division. And I'm truly grateful for everything that you do on behalf of our students. Good evening.